To make the half square triangle block, I'm going to show you two different ways to cut the half square triangles. Now, if you've done half square triangles before, you know that another method is to actually cut two squares, put them right sides together, draw a line and sew either side and then cut. But with this block, we don't have many duplicates. There's only one duplicate set. So we're going to cut all these as separate half square triangles. So the first way I'm going to show you is to take a 5-inch square. You can do this 4 7/8, that's the theoretical size, but if you oversize it slightly and trim it afterwards, it makes everything go a lot quicker and easier. So you just take this 5-inch square and then we're going to cut it in half across the diagonal and then cut. And there are our two half square triangles of A. The other way I'm going to show you is to use the CGRT 45, which is a 45-degree half square triangle ruler. This is my orange fabric, which I need two half square triangles from. So I've cut 4.5 inches by 5.5 inches. My first cut, I'm going to put the 4.5 inch line on the bottom and cut like that. And you can see there that I've got this corner cut off, and that's going to make my piecing really easy. Now for the second one, I can rotate my ruler, put the 4.5 inch line on the top, line up along here, and just trim this little bit off. So that's my two half square triangles. I can also trim off these corners. So if I turn it over, line them up with each other, and then put the 4.5 line on this flat edge at the bottom again, then I can take this off. And this is going to make joining the pieces really easy. With my other fabrics, where I only need one half square triangle, I've just cut myself a 4.5 inch square, and then I cut like that, and this cut is already made. I don't have to rotate it and do the other cut. And so with these already cut with the tips cut off, I can then just piece them together, match up these blunt tips, and the sewing line actually goes through this corner here to this corner down here. So that's a really easy way to do half square triangles, and there'll be no trimming for these. And now that I've cut both of my half square triangles and sewn them together, then pressed to one side, I can now trim this up, and it needs to be trimmed to 4.5 inches square. I like using the ruler with the diagonal line because that's going to go on my seam, and I'm going to place it on and just make sure that this corner here is on fabric and that this side is on and this is on fabric. So I'll just scooch up a little bit, and you can see that having cut it to 5 inches instead of 4 7/8 has given me a little bit of room to play with. You can even cut your squares larger than 5, but this is going to be enough. So I've trimmed those two sides. Now I'm going to rotate it through 180 degrees, put it back on, and put the 4.5 inch lines on the outside, and then do the final trim. And that's going to be perfect. And then once you've made all of your half square triangle units, you're just going to be sewing them together in a line. And now that I've made all the units and trimmed them up, we can assemble them. So it's just a case of being careful which way around you've got your triangles there, and then placing them in order. This one, another orange one, and then once all the half square triangles are together, just my little F rectangle, and that goes down at the bottom. And there, by the magic of television, it's all sewn together.